Hi everyone, SpiderMan 1991 here to do my comic reviews for the week of November 16th, 2011. It's pretty late Friday evening, but I'll probably, by the time you see this, it'll probably be Saturday morning. Anyways, first order of business, my Legion ring finally came in the mail. I ordered it last week and it came on Monday. This replica of the Legion flight ring was kind of a giveaway with the first issue of Legion Superhero Secret Origin, which came out, I believe, 2 to 3 weeks ago. Anyways, I remembered Dark Avengers C86 had one, and he told me about it, and unfortunately, the day the comic came out, no comic store in town had it, so I had to go on eBay to kind of go in an auction, and I won this for about $5. You can still find some there on eBay, though. I think they're up for grabs right now, but I think you should really hurry because, these things could probably sell out really fast. Anyways, back to comics. Let's start off with Marvel. Ultimate Comics X-Men, number 3. What happens? Quicksilver pretty much is at Washington, and he's making a deal with the president and the head of and sort of the presidential liaison to the Mutant Affairs to talk about developing Cerebro technology. William Stryker, who's apparently part Sentinel again, he plans an attack on Times Square, I'm guessing, because the dude's just basically insane. And also, Jimmy Hudson is able to escape the Stryker's compound that he was held in the last issue, along with 2 other mutant boy captives, and they make their way to the Morlock tunnels, and they meet Kitty Pryde, Rogue, Giant Storm, and Iceman. And that's pretty much the summary of it. I was generally not really impressed with this issue at all. In fact, 2 issues ago, I'm still kind of developing what the main... Right now it seems like the current threat is going to be Stryker, then Quicksilver, and then possibly Apocalypse, but I don't know, this series I'm just not really feeling it or that into it. And, well, with the additions I've made to my pull list with the Wolverine, the X-Men, Incredible Hulk, and Avenging Spider-Man, and with the new Scarlet Spider series coming out in January, I've kind of decided to drop a few comics, and well, after this issue, I'm definitely willing to let this series go. So this is the last issue of Ultimate Comics X-Men that I'm gonna buy. May I get the trade or not, that's totally debatable. Anyways, moving on. Incredible Hulk number 2. We're now given some insight as to what Bruce Banner's been up to since his separation from the Hulk. Right after he and Betty Ross retreated to an island, and where apparently they're trying to work on their marriage, but eventually Bruce reveals to her that the reason he chose that island was because it was the site of a radiation testing and the whole island's radioactive. And at that point, Betty's furious at him because he still can't let the Hulk go, even though they're now physically separated. And so Betty leaves. And that's where Bruce pretty much built his base from last issue, where he starts his experiments on the gamma-radiated animals. And we get more insight into Bruce Banner's perspective in this story, because now apparently the reason he's trying to recreate the Hulk is because he's lost a piece of himself. That's basically it. He's lost a piece. He's basically lost. The Hulk was basically an extension of his personality, a hidden part of it, if you will. And now that they're physically separated, he's just out of it. That's pretty much Bruce Banner. He's no longer he's pretty much just lost. He wants that piece of his personality back because he feels incomplete. So he's conducting a number of experiments on himself, and he's got a brain tumor on his head, and he's pretty much willing to go to conduct any experiment to get the Hulk back, even setting off recreating the original gamma bomb that created the Hulk in the first place. Alright, now for the Hulk side. Hulk, the woman who went to see Hulk last issue, Agent Amanda Von Doom, no relation to Doctor Doom, has taken Hulk to her sort of base on the sea, and which is basically this huge aircraft carrier, and she says that she's part of a team called the Mad... Wait, let me see. Do I have the name written down here? No, it was called like the Mad Strikers or something. Anyways, they go after mad scientists, and they're getting ready to attack Banner because he's been doing all the crazy experiments with the gamma-induced animals. And right when Hulk is trying to explain that, Hulk's pretty much saying that Banner's not his problem, and then he says that Bruce Banner wasn't the one who separated them. It was him. And then the Hulk says, it was me. And right when he is about to say who else helped in the separation, he gets cut off because the ship is attacked by giant hulked out sharks, which you can see on the cover. Well, it's not just these things. There's also some hammerhead sharks too. Anyways, after that, Hulk and Von Doom's team pretty much are able to beat up the sharks and get to safety. But Hulk still says no. He says that Banner is not his problem anymore, and he leaves. And right after this is going on, the two boar creatures that Dr. Banner has been using as his servants have arrived at the Moloid village, and where they're apparently planning to get revenge on the Hulk because the Hulk makes Banner mad, and they want Banner to like them, so they're going to destroy something Hulk loves, which is basically the village he's been living at. Yeah, okay, Incredible Hulk. Definitely giving us some more insight onto Dr. Bruce Banner, because it does give us a little explanation as to why he's doing all these experiments with gamma radiation now. He just feels incomplete. I mean, the Hulk is Dr. Bruce Banner. He was a part of himself. Not something that he showed every day, but nevertheless, it was something... Nevertheless, when you lose something like that of your personality, you do feel incomplete. And right now, Bruce Banner just feels a little lost. I think, and yes, he's still insane, but at least it's rational now. Not just like, okay, he separated the Hulk, he's crazy, but we now have some rationality to that. Hulk, though, he pretty much... Again, Hulk hasn't really changed that much since the separation, other than, mentally he's still the same. He just wants peace, and he's found that in the Moloid village, which is definitely going to be corrupt, which I'm guessing by the end of this issue, by the time Hulk gets back, the village will be slaughtered, and now that'll give Hulk the initiative he needs to go fight Dr. Bruce Banner. Alright, next up, Captain America, number 4. Cap, from last issue, Cap is stuck in Jimmy Jupiter's alternate dimension, which is known as the Land of Nowhere. And while he's there, he fights with Agent Bravo, and Bravo reveals that since when the mission went wrong in World War II, he and the other soldiers that were trapped there have decided to work with the Hydra agents that were trapped there so that they could build a utopia in that world, and they did. But now Bravo and his team Bravo and basically Hydra want to bring that world into the main reality, which, yeah, they want to bring their whole perfect utopia into the real world, which is kind of a bad idea because each group had different views on the utopia, and it would definitely lead to chaos. And also back in the main reality, Sharon Carter, Nick Fury, and Falcon are able to figure out where Hydra is holding Jimmy Jupiter, and they want to find him so that they can figure out a way to free Steve. But when Sharon gets there, the head of Hydra basically puts a gun to Jimmy's head and says that if they make one more move, then she's going to kill Jimmy, and Cap will be trapped in that alternate world for good. Alright, Captain America. I don't know when... Did Captain America number 3 come out last month? Because it feels like it's been a while since I've read this. I mean, it feels like it has been a while since I've read this, but I think now we're getting to some... It feels like the story is moving a little further now, a lot further than issue 3, which was just basically Cap fighting a giant Captain America android and stuff. Anyways, we finally know what Bravo's main objective is with this whole alternate dimension thing. Is not now he's trying to, if he's ruled one dimension, now he wants to bring it into this world so he can rule it again, I guess. Anyways, I'd say if you're still going with this, see it through to the end at least until you decide to drop the series. Okay, now time for another one of my favorite Marvel books, Avengers Academy number 22, and the guest star is, yes, Magneto comes to Avengers Academy, because basically after the murder of Jocasta, Dr. Pym detects some sort of electromagnetic energy that he can't identify, so he asks Cyclops and Emma Frost to visit along with Magneto so that they can figure out what caused Jocasta's death, and maybe if one of the students is involved, they could have Emma Frost mind probe everyone. And when when the X-Men arrive, tensions between Magneto and Quicksilver are very tense, and Magneto reveals that the reason he's helping Hank Pym is that his part of the bargain is that Quicksilver will stay out of all mutant affairs. Because the last time Quicksilver tried to involve himself with any kind of mutant event was when he tried to restore after House of M, when he tried to restore some mutants' powers using the Inhuman Terminus, but that really went bad and into chaos. And even though it really was Quicksilver has been going to the public and saying that it was basically a Skrull the whole time, because this was before Secret Invasion. But few people have been able to see through his lies, such as Finesse and Quicksilver's own daughter Luna, and even Magneto has seen through this. And of course, while they're kind of verbally Magneto and Quicksilver are verbally attacking each other. Then Finesse steps in, and at that point, the fight gets physical now, and Magneto and Quicksilver have a huge fight. But then they stop. But Emma Frost intervenes, and they stop, and it ends with pretty much things not getting any better, even though Magneto still says that he wasn't a good parent to Pietro. It's still not better between the two. In fact, it might be even worse. And in the end, though, after Magneto helps out Hank Pym by saying that the energy comes from, Magneto states that the energy comes through time, which is basically the only mention of the whole main plot of Jocasta's murder that we get in this issue. After that, Magneto and Cyclops and Emma Frost leave, and also Cyclops and Hank do speak about this, and Hank says, since we kind of set up shop right next to you guys, it might give the whole new recruits an idea of X-Men versus Avengers. Maybe we should try to have some sort of interaction. But Cyclops states that he's preparing his students the people on his island for war, it's not a school, and that if he does want something like that, he should talk to Wolverine. And then the last scene is basically Finesse talking to Quicksilver about what happened, and Finesse says that she doesn't want to learn any more of Magneto's methods from Quicksilver, but she does want to know how to be more like Quicksilver himself. And Quicksilver is proud to hear that. And that's where it concludes. I have to say, though, this issue felt more like an X-Men story than something for Avengers Academy, because, yeah, they even put the X-Men Regenesis banner on here. It really did feel like this. I feel like if you didn't miss this issue, you wouldn't have to worry about it. I mean, if you read the last issue, issue 21, that set up Jocasta's murder, and you're like, oh, geez, I forgot to get this issue, don't worry. There was barely any mention or any sort of involvement of the main plot at all, so if you missed this, you're good. Just make sure you get back on the bandwagon for issue 23. Also, Hawkeye does get Hawkeye's new costume does appear in this. It really looks more like a purple version of the movie and Ultimate Hawkeye's costumes. And also, if you're a Magneto fan or a Quicksilver fan, then I would recommend this issue. But still, it feels more like an X-Men story than a actual Avengers Academy issue. All right, now for my last Marvel, one of my definite favorite Marvel, which I will never drop, Amazing Spider-Man number 674. The Vulture's back, except this time he's gotten a bunch of wayward youths to work for him by basically having them steal and rob penthouses in Manhattan for him, and in exchange he'll let the youths use his flight tech. But apparently, if you don't basically pony up to the Vulture and pay in full or something, like you don't do the job right, then he basically will cut you off by having you fly around a bit. Then he'll basically cut off the tech, and you'll fall to your death. Which basically leaves, which is sort of a hard case for the NYPD and Spider-Man to solve, as well as the whole apartment robberies, which Spider-Man is also having trouble. And Peter Parker and Carly Cooper run into each other at Coffee Bean. And again, remember, Carly knows Peter is Spider-Man. And basically Carly and Peter talk about this, and they both agree that maybe, even if they're not together, they should still work with each other as a cop and a superhero. That's it. That's what it is. They're no longer... So, yeah, basically Carly and Peter have decided to work together as more of just colleagues in crime fighting rather than romantically. Oh, side story 2. This is very small, like 2 pages in the issue, but basically a worker from Horizon Labs, Tiberius Stone, he goes to the Kingpin and he sells the Kingpin the plans for the Spider Sense jammers. So yeah, that's definitely something that Dan Slott might play around with in the future. Yeah. Okay, we're right out. Still, Amazing Spider-Man 674. This is a great setup for a new story arc right after Spider Island. Granted, this probably isn't going to be as big. Maybe like maybe it's going to be 2 or 3 parts tops. But now we pretty much have sort of a new status quo after Spider Island. Peter and Carly are no longer romantically together, but they are still working together as sort of colleagues in crime fighting, which I think is better, though. I mean, granted, Peter, a lot of people, I don't think they had a problem with Peter and Carly being romantic. I just think this might work a little more, just them sort of, Spidey having a friend on the NYPD would really help him a lot. Okay. So that's everything Marvel. Time to move on to DC Comics. Alright, Young Justice number 10. Continuing from last issue, the team is able to solve the cold case, and they are able to prove that Nathaniel Adam was innocent, and also it's revealed to the audience to the reader, that Captain Atom is Nathaniel Adams in this universe. Also, the samurai sword that was able to injure Superboy, it's not magic. It's actually made of some sort of device called an X-ionizer. So, and it can harm Superman too. They mention that. That's all that happens in this. I like the TV show Young Justice, but now the comic, like I said, I'm trying to cut back on my pull list, and I'm thinking that I should I mainly got this series because the show was on hiatus, and I missed it, and I thought this would hold me over until then, and it did. So new episodes are back. So far, I haven't really seen that much of the comic impacting the TV show. I have seen the TV show impact the comic, but, the comic not so much having an effect on the TV show, because I think you could probably still watch Young Justice, the TV show, but skip the comic. So I'm probably going to do that, save myself some money. This is going to be the last issue of Young Justice I buy. I might, slim chance, pick up any collected editions, but I doubt it. But still, if you're a fan of this TV show and you've seen Captain Atom a bunch of times and you were wondering who this guy is, get the last issue, issue 9, and get this issue, issue 10, and it'll answer some questions for you. Okay, back to the main DC universe. Justice League number 3. We are introduced to Wonder Woman in this issue. Okay, so Wonder Woman has based herself in Washington, D.C., and her liaison to the government is Steve Trevor. And what happens is, soon the parademons attack Washington, D.C., and continuing from last issue, Dr. Silas Stone begins the procedure to turn Victor Stone into Cyborg. Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, and Flash are dealing with the whole parademon attack in Metropolis, and apparently the parademons are not really attacking people. They're more like just kidnapping them. They're just grabbing people and flying off. That's all. And during the parademon attack, Wonder Woman does arrive in Metropolis to help out and stuff. And basically, Flash then notices that the parademons are flying into Metropolis Bay in some sort of sequence. And all of a sudden, a larger boom tube fires down, and this huge base shows up. It could be Darkseid's palace, not sure, but now basically I think it's strongly implied that now Darkseid is here. Even though we don't physically see him, he's here. And the issue ends with Aquaman showing up saying that the parademons were in the water too, and that now he's here to help. And also Aquaman asks, "Who's in charge? I nominate me." And that's where Justice League ends. Okay, so we've now been introduced to Wonder Woman at the beginning of the Justice League, and at the very last page, Aquaman. Yay! What else? I really do like this issue of Justice League. This issue was pretty great. We now get to see, pretty much the parademons have brought Darkseid to Earth. And I'm pretty sure next issue we'll finally get to see the full appearance of Cyborg. Maybe not. Strong possibility. It does feel like this is something interesting too. Cyborg could be the technology that Star Labs is using on Cyborg. Dr. Stone states that that this is various alien tech that they've gathered before, and right when the metal and nanites that Stone injects into his son are starting to take effect, the pinging noise in Cyborg starts going off at the same time. We're sort of given a glimpse at Darkseid. So it's possible that some of Cyborg's technology could be apocalyptian. But yeah, this issue, it's kind of a nice introduction to Wonder Woman for the Justice League. It shows where she was 5 years ago and how she sort of joined the team, I guess, during the founding. Oh yeah, and also I should mention, in this book, Aquaman does have his beard. It's not a long beard, it's just more like a short beard. And he shows up and at the very last page. So, that's it. Justice League number 3. It's still keeping me interested in the story. Want to see can't wait to see how it all ends. Oh, one more thing, comic news wise. Justice League, it's still priced at $3.99, which is a little annoying. But good news is that after the whole origin story arc, they're going to start showing a Shazam co-feature in this comic. So if you're a Captain Marvel fan, you've been wondering where he's been, what's going on with Billy Batson, I think some questions will be answered in this. Alright, moving right along. Batman, number 3. Alright. Batman has pretty much been busy since Bruce Wayne's assassination, since the attempt on Bruce Wayne's life last issue. He's been patrolling the city, trying to find information about the whole Court of Owls. Then he's been reviewing the assassination attempt tapes a number of times to figure out how the assassin got into the tower, and he's been doing it over and over again, but he can't seem to figure it out. And then basically Batman starts to learn about his I think either his great grandfather or his grandfather, I think it was Arthur Wayne. Anyways, basically his grandfather had some sort of obsession with owls as it was close to his death because he believed the owls were watching him or something, which may have been a sort of an insight to the Court of Owls. Anyways, Batman starts to suspect. Batman then figures out something about how the assassin could have been in the tower. He learned through an old architecture superstition that the 13th floor is bad luck, and that whenever making a building, the 13th floor would usually be sealed off as to sort of contain the bad luck. Anyways, Batman goes back to the tower. He breaks into the 13th floor, and he discovers a secret base. Now that was pretty cool. And then that leads Batman to another idea that any sort of building that could be related to the Wayne Foundation, such as this sort of Arthur Wayne Architecture Fund, to help with any funding of buildings. And Batman goes to each building, checks the 13th floor, and he's been finding a number of bases that have been built over the past 150 years. And so now Batman is given the idea that apparently the Court of Owls has been in Gotham for a while. And apparently the court has been controlling Gotham from the shadows for years, apparently. Okay. Batman number 3. That was very clever of Scott Snyder, with the whole 13th floor being the secret base. That's clever writing right there. I would say Scott Snyder is basically killing it on Batman right now. I really like this story arc. It's amazing. It's very great. Very interesting to know that Batman isn't just the only Gotham superstition. Or, I guess, he's not really superstition now that he's been revealed from the Justice League. Anyways, it's still very clever writing going on in Batman, and I would very highly recommend this to anyone who would want to read Batman. I mean, if someone ever asked me, hey, are there any good Batman comics out, I'd probably say, yeah, you should check out If you find Batman comic with Scott Snyder's name on it, then you should definitely check it out, because he's very good at this. Okay, that's it. That's all my comics for this week. Alright, quick little recap. Batman number 3. Scott Snyder's name is on it. He's a good writer. Definitely pick it up. Justice League number 3. We're finally introduced to if you're curious of how Wonder Woman got on the team, check it out. Also, if you've been reading this since the beginning, stick with it. The story's starting to move along very nice. Young Justice number 10. Fans of the TV series should check it out, but if you don't have the money, then I should say you should skip it. Or if you've been curious about Captain Atom's history in this universe, check it out. Amazing Spider-Man 674. The Vulture is back. If you are a Vulture fan, I would recommend this. It's still very strong. Dan Slott's still a great writer on this. Avengers Academy number 22. Felt more like an X-Men story, so I would say Magneto or Quicksilver fans should check this out. Captain America number 4. I think it's been a little while since I've read the last issue, but it feels like Bravo's motivation is finally revealed. So if you've been reading this since the beginning, I'd say get it. Incredible Hulk number 2. We've seen the Hulk's perspective. Now we're sort of getting into insight about what Banner's been up to. So again, definitely check that out. And Ultimate X-Men number 3. There's basically nothing that, if you actually are interested in this, then maybe you should keep reading it. But if you're not really and you have a very thin budget, then just skip it. Okay, that's all my comic reviews for this week. Next week, though, I realize that it's Thanksgiving, and if you have been with me since I started this whole blog thing, then you know that usually last year I did skip doing this on Thanksgiving week just because of the holidays and stuff, and I would travel a lot. But next week, though, I might post a review for Fantastic Four 600, but that will probably be the only comic I would review, though. I don't really like reviewing during holiday weeks because something might come up. But there could be a review, maybe not. I just wouldn't bark your calendars for that or anything. Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.